Hi, welcome back to the DST show, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to have a bit of off-topic talk around the channel. It doesn't really particularly relate to wrestling. Thank God for today. I want to get out of the topic for just for today after the belts video. Thanks for the love on that one, by the way. So we're going to be opening our topic involving animation. Of course, cartoons are the biggest conversation when it comes to this channel as well. Want to share that involving like the 2000s era, knowing how animation sparked over in the mainstream, especially how it is for cartoons and animation, how it's even spread it around the internet, involving if you guys were around the Newgrounds era or you guys were around YouTube when, a lot of, ad-free indie content was in the works. It was very difficult, but very frequent where you would see old streaming animators get around and, some of them would be peaked into pilot episodes that you would see on Cartoon Network, Disney, or even Nickelodeon would even marathon around. But around majority of the time, I need anybody that can come over to the stream. You can even debate with me. Like, what do you think had the better era of cartoons? Which one would you choose in the 2000s? Is it Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or Disney Channel? Your results may vary over the preference, quality, or content alone. My opinion, even though I've watched all three channels, especially being young, you had a very varied, or you watched Jetix, CW Kids. Your childhood was fucking awesome if you had any of those cartoons, if, you weren't that much of a strict child. Of course, you varied if you watched Power Rangers, or you like the sitcom aspect, you like the Proud Family, or Fillmore, or you had Cartoon Network that I feel like just had balls to the walls, better shows, more adult content, more edgy content. But by the way, it varies if you're an anime fan as well. So if you watch Cartoon Network, you were on the Toonami block. Also, Cartoon Network was also a new ground for adult animation that MTV was doing around the mid to late 90s. So Adult Swim, Toonami, and Cartoon, especially the Cartoon block, around the early to mid 2000s. And plus, most of the mainstream animation carried over. If it wasn't Samurai Jack, if it wasn't Chowder, Flapjack, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Robot Boy, I don't think Super Robot Monkey Force, Cyber Force, God, whatever. I think that was on Jetix. I don't know, guys. I'm old. Well, in that aspect, that I can remember, like at least over a decade and a half of cartoons around that time period. But I'm telling you, it was a lot more variety content. It just varied experience. Even if you guys want to ignore and completely erase that block of reality TV when Destroy Build Destroy was a thing. And all you had going around the late 2000s to around early 2010s was Chowder, Flapjack. If you guys didn't mind Johnny Test after season 2, I swear to God, I think I remember when Redbox was still prevalent to renting CDs over the closings of Best Buys. That's what we'd get next to a couple of SpongeBob seasonal DVDs for my younger siblings. And that would, satisfy them if, we couldn't be watching any crappy films that the adults would pick out. But, yeah, Cartoon Network, I feel like, overall had a better content alone over the two other channels, even though there was a lot more bigger over the budget-wise. Of course, Disney and Phil content-wise, they were still varied around DVD, movies, their own original studio broadcast, obviously with the theme parks, had as well iconic rotations around their cartoons. Nickelodeon, I'm not saying that their shows were bad, but they just varied around the same type of style of slice of life. There was no borderline plot line around cartoon over Disney. Oh, we got our guest right now. Somebody that brought the subject around over on the community post. Let's bring up Top Dog, everybody. What's going on, Sin?
Yo. What's going on, everybody? What is going on today?
Well, not much, Top Dog. Well, you brought up the subject alone. I did want to post this around stream, but I want to leave this for tomorrow. But uh, I just want something to cap me out over to the night. So, what do you think is was the better, cartoon channel around the 2000s? You think it's Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, or Nickelodeon?
So is there strictly 2000s or does this extend to like the
Just
90s?
strictly 2000s, just around that era, because we know a lot of possibly a lot of the demographic has watched that time period.
What about early 2010s? Are we so just strictly
If
2000s?
it was early 2010s, I would change my opinion.
All right, the
Because
better.
there's no way you're telling me you'd rather watch Nickelodeon, Batman Beyond, Teen Titans, and then you get to watch Dragon Ball Z. You can't. Nickelodeon can't be defeated there, bro.
Let's see. I'm going with Cartoon Network, honestly, because it had all right, it had Chowder, Flapjack, 88 and 80. You know,
Facts.
you still had the Powerpuff Girls. You still had I think that's no, did Dexter's Lab ended in the 90s. I think Johnny Bravo, I think, still went.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coda
I
Logo.
don't. I don't know how aged I am with this. Remember the Cartoon City block that they had around like 2004 to 2005? Like you were seeing Powerpuff Girls interact with like Johnny Bravo and stuff.
Oh yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, like content wise, especially around the summer, you can binge almost any episode. Like I think Disney Channel, and it's not a rug, it's not a rub on it. Disney Channel was obviously for I think the more female demographic.
Well, it had more of the Disney Channel. It had more of the. Well, see, let's see. Okay, the thing is about Disney Channel is that back then they put a lot of their cartoons was on to Disney, or in the 90s it was on no syndication blocks like Kids WB.
Oh yeah, I remember syndication. I heard of it.
Yeah, on Kids, either like it was on Kids WB or it'd be on AB, or it'd be on ABC on Saturday mornings. But on Disney Channel itself, like yeah, you had cartoons like you had the Proud Family, you had Kim Possible, Phineas and Ferb later down the road.
Fillmore,
No,
Recess.
yeah, but bro, Recess them. I went. That's not.
Yeah, that's around like at least two. What was that? Late? I swear that was late '90s.
Yeah, but it didn't
Bless
even.
you.
But it didn't get created on Disney Channel. It got created on because they used to have a channel blocks ABC Saturday morning one. That's what they got created on. But you had American Dragon stuff like that. But Disney Channel was
Facts.
always mostly sitcoms. Zack and Cody. Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven. So on and so on. Nickelodeon.
Life with
Nickelodeon
Derek.
Nickelodeon is a better challenge because they still had good cartoons in the 2000s, where it'd be the Fairly Odd Parents, Peak
But yeah,
Spunk.
but I feel like Nickelodeon was always trying to mimic the momentum that Disney Channel had. That was my thing with it.
Yeah, I would say. Well, I would say they started doing that towards the end of the 2000s because in the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah, Zoe 101, Victorious. Like
Yeah,
the later parts you saw, like they had sitcoms, but they were like fewer. Like you had Keenan and Kel.
yeah, like in the late
That's
90s.
it.
Yeah, in the late, so like in
Oh,
the
and all that was like
yeah,
94, 96.
you had all that. Nickelodeon's always had sitcoms. Like even during its prime in the 90s, you had Solution Shorts. Carissa Explains It All. This is early 90s. Pete Adventures of Pete and Pete. All that Kid and Kill. The Amanda Show.
Oh
They
yeah,
always had sitcoms, but they had also had like a ton of cartoons, which Disney Channel didn't do. And then in the 2000s, they even into the 2000s, they still kind of kept that momentum. Danny Phantom,
Invader Zim.
Invader Zim, Jimmy Neutron, Prime Star.
Cat Dog. I mean, Cat Dog was late '90s, but I'm still you're still making a good point, as well
Yeah,
as Fairly Odd Parents. Here's the thing: I feel like Nickelodeon live and died off their early 2000s, late '90s run because we at least had like four cartoons running around a decade and a half or even longer.
I'm gonna be honest with you. when people still think of Nickelodeon, they think of mid-90s Nickelodeon. That's what people think of in Nickelodeon. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
of course.
us who are younger, we think of the 2000s, even late 90s Nickelodeon. But when a lot of people think of the glory years of Nickelodeon, it's like that. It was the mid 90s, because that's when they had all that. That was the peak of all that. Then you had Hey Arnold coming out. You know, then you still had Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah, Rocco's Modern Life, Rugrats.
Red Stimpy. That's what people think of Nickelodeon. And I would say that what I used, and I wish we had this nowadays, but it was more variety. Obviously you still have Saturday morning cartoons going strong, even though that was on the downswing. But
Yeah,
you
that
had
was around the downswing.
it wasn't just nowadays. Besides streaming,
Was it because on demand was more of a thing? They think the Saturday morning block wouldn't be necessary, or because they were moving cartoons to air around like 6 a.m. now at that point, or 7 a.m.
there's a lot of watch if you watch Saber Sports video, it will, and a lot of other people's. There's a lot of reasons why Saturday morning cartoons die. There's a lot of
Yeah.
it's not just you can't. It's a lot of reasons, but you have more variety nowadays. Besides streaming, of course, if you just have strictly cable, I don't know who would have cable in this day and day. There's nothing good on cable no more. But
And I understand there's like lack of content, but guess what? Cable is still the most convenient source of content, and
yeah,
a lot of places like airports, barber shops, off DMVs. A lot of places still got televised content, even though streaming is a thing. And guess what? It's just more convenient.
but cable, nowadays is garbage. So I don't
Yeah,
know who have it. But
I'm,
but well, see, like the thing is though about back then is that outside, if you have cable, strictly cable, you just have the big three: Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. You may
would
have.
you want to account CW at that point, at that time period?
Well, see, the thing is though, back then there was more. You had more blocks. You had Kids WB, you had Jetix, you know,
Fox,
Fox Kids.
Fox
You had
Kids.
Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. You had Toon Disney, Cartoon Network. Boomerang was really good. It was. Then you had, of course, Toonami with anime. Then Adult Swim. Aqua
Yeah,
Teen
we
Hunger Force.
we were already at the dying days around like 2010s. I remember having to watch Saturday morning blocks till I turned like 10 years old. Around like 12, I swear I was around like 11 years old. Like, if anybody still remember the True Jackson show, Henry did. Like, I swear I've only enjoyed a handful, and I mean a handful of cartoons around that time period. You want me to name them off?
Go ahead.
All right. So, Tough Puppy, Mighty B, the Penguins of Madagascar when that was still on. Fuck Back in the Barnyard. That crap went over to Nicktoons as soon as possible. As soon as possible. That rerun with the same time as like Tack and the Power of Juju, and I think as well How to Train Your Dragon was having an animated series around that time. Like hell, they were better off just playing the Nick Jr. shows, and they were possibly drawing bigger numbers than another either than a clickbait. I swear, SpongeBob SquarePants clickbaited more than YouTube channels around that time.
Hey.
I'm serious. Like honestly, how many specials had you got? Like SpongeBob loses his memory, or they go to Atlantis, or like any type of sentiment that they had over a ratings grab. When in the 2010s, you had Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, and regular show. Like, out of all the shows around the 2010s, except like possibly Legend of Korra, and whoever in the hell cares about Derek Henry Danger. Like what shows around the 2010s were standing out that could actually like draw an audience?
Hearing Danger wasn't a cartoon. That was a live
Oh
action.
yeah, that was a cartoon. Yeah, I'm sorry, my fault. Would you rather watch Fanboy and Chum Chum or Sanjay and Craig? I'm serious. The only exceptional show around that time period was possibly The Loud House, but their fan base was full of degenerates.
Yeah, that is true. Honestly, I'd rather watch Sanjay and Craig.
Oh hell no, absolutely not. The amount of like fart jokes, like I'm just glad I didn't bring up breadwin. Fuck. I brought up breadwinners. My fault. Like there was a lot of cartoons around this time period that just weren't hitting, had a lack of a staying power, like Robot Monster. Oh god, they got Robot and Monster. Oh, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But that was already a certified block on any other channel.
Well, Nickelodeon. People talk about the so-called cartoon renaissance of the early 2010s. Nobody brings up Nickelodeon. There's always Cartoon Network and Disney, or Netflix, because
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because during that time, you had Adventure Time, regular show. Even though I don't like this show, Steven Universe, and I gotta give a little bit of credit.
Oh yeah, Steven Universe. I feel like it was okay, but it's like, where was the plot people were talking about?
In my opinion, it was an SJW show. It appealed to SJW.
I think a lot of people think it was an SJW show. It was like, it's okay being who you are, and talking about trauma and all this bullshit. When it took you guys like several years to even get a plot competent enough to talk about this crap, and it just made me hate every other character in the show.
No, besides even though this is not entirely cartoons,
They bastardized Bakugan. They bastardized it. I remember Bakugan when I was a kid.
Disney SD, even though that wasn't strictly cartoons, I love Disney SD because they had really, because especially when Disney Channel was becoming super girly around the late 2000s, that was the time, And,
yeah, I think they aired Naruto Shippuden in that time period.
Nah, Disney, yeah, because this is around the time when Disney Channel was coming way too girly, Like I said, Disney Channel was always kind of bent on the girl side, but in the early to mid 2010s, there was a balance.
And plus, they were more reliant over on Jesse and Gravity Falls. They really weren't relying over on animation now at that time period anymore.
Yeah, that's what Disney, but Disney SD was better because you had Kick Patowski. You had cool live action like Lab Rats and stuff like that actually appealed to boys. It was cool. It wasn't the typical singing stuff, and I just got annoyed at that. I know a lot of people say that it was good, but it was mid. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't at the same time.
Especially Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh no, Clone Wars was in Cartoon Network. Like a lot of MCU, as soon as Disney bought over the Marvel rights, it was easy enough to spread over content to Agents of Smash. They had, of course, Mightiest Avengers, to their own Guardians of the Galaxy show that lasted like 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a surplus of content, and if you're like was like Terra, no, there was Tron, right?
Hmm?
They had like Tron, right? Tron Uprising.
Watch that one.
Wasn't Motor City on this? Yeah, Motor City as well. Motor City is underrated. If you ever watch Motor City, had the best animation I've seen, especially for like a lack of racing shows. Unless you watch that Speed Racer crappy animation they had over on Nicktoons.
I got a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
Even though this is kind of a little bit of a side tangent, what's your favorite live action on Disney Channel back in the day?
Sorry, repeat that one more time. You're coming a bit staticky.
Oh, what was your favorite live action on Disney Channel back in the day?
Ooh. It doesn't depend what era.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Lab. Well, if we're including everything from Disney Channel.
Disney SD, no, Disney SD doesn't count. Strictly Disney.
Oh, it's Disney XD.
No, I'm saying Disney SD don't count. It's just strictly Disney Channel.
Damn it. Okay. I'm about to say I would have put kicking it. That would have been my take. I didn't mind kicking it. Whoever thought Zeke and Luther was good, oof.
It was all right. I was saying it was all right.
I mean, but they always try to do that because they wanted to moment themselves from Smosh and stuff.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, because it was early YouTube.
No, Zeke and Luther came out 2011, so you know damn well what they were ripping off.
Lab Rats was my favorite. You had Bree, and then you had Chase. It was cool.
We're looking overall.
Shout out Carlito.
Oh yeah, Carlito's buff as hell, by the way. Don't know how the hell that worked out.
He looked better than he did in the Ruthless Aggression era.
Facts. He actually looked like we could push him.
When he looked like that in 2005, maybe he would have.
Well, let me give you this. I'll give you my least favorite, and I'll give you my favorite.
That worked.
All right, I'll give you my least favorite. That is personally Wizards of Waverly Place.
That's your least favorite?
Second to So Random.
Wait, why is that?
I never liked the comedy. I never liked the comedy. I thought it was too rushed. So I understand the joke was literally so random, but I could never get a hearty laugh out of it. And plus, the only thing cool about it was the guest appearances that they had singing and performing at the show.
I can honestly see why. I would say it was probably the best of that era. I guess stood out was from head up the sing. Like I said, that singing stuff got annoying.
They only had So Random because they know Sunny with a Chance was gonna bomb. Okay, so that was literally the only successor that came out of it.
My least favorite.
Oh wait, I didn't give you my favorite yet.
Oh, I was gonna say that singing stuff got annoying. Even though High School Musical, the first one was all right, I couldn't tolerate that because at least it has good looking chicks. But that's as a young.
Oh, I thought you meant live action shows. We can do movies.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot that is a movie. All right, now
I would have just said That's So Raven because I'm old. That's about it, man. If it was up to me, it would be that. That would be it. If anybody said crap and Crash and Bernstein, you've been bullied as a child. or Mighty Med. I enjoyed Mighty Med. Mighty Med was creative for me. I liked Mighty Med.
Did you like the girl? I did. No, I got a question. The girl in Mighty Men or the girl in Lab Rats? Who did you
Lab Rats, without a question.
I don't know.
And if it was up to me, if we chose Shake It Up, I swear to God, I would have chose Bella Thorne without a fight. I swear we overrate Zendaya way too much.
Yeah, she's overrated.
Don't get me wrong, she's pretty. I never said that she was hot. She's pretty.
Zendaya's not even the hottest girl of that Euphoria show. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh no, yeah, I heard about that show. Man, I cannot get the cinematography is nice, but I just can't get behind it, bro. I feel like it's like I know damn well this is for a teenager. Why? It has no angst. All it has is angst, no plot. It makes me want to hate the teenagers a lot more, and all it has is nudity. So you know damn well it's for teenagers.
I would say this though, that Sydney Sweeney girl in there. Ooh.
Oh, with the big chest?
Yes. Ooh.
Oh, of course.
Ooh.
But Euphoria is mid. I can understand why people like it. But, yeah. All right, let's go over your favorites.
My favorite Disney Channel. Okay, so that's So Raven.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah, man. Okay. What else? I would say Boys Meets World, but Boys Meets World that was the ABC show for me. Even though it did air, even though it did no, even though it did have its episode on Disney Channel, but That's So Raven, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, what Even Stevens. That's all I can think of right now.
Obviously, my favorite cartoon is Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Obvious. I gotta tell you, I'm contemplating trying to live stream that on the channel because I know it was fun doing the Velma show. Not really, but I went. I wanted to go over this because I grew up watching the Proud Family, and let me tell you something. What they did, trying to bastardize every character and make it so SJW, it just try to simplify every lesson learned on the show and just make sure there's no core values with any. And still, Penny Proud's friends ain't shit. There's no like character evolution at all over in this new Louder and Prouder.
They didn't grow up like
We got a gay couple. Why? To show that we got a gay couple. We still got La Cienega. We got rid of Sticky for what was the reason they got rid of Sticky? Was his voice actor gone or something?
Oh yeah, they did get rid of him.
Like they literally written him off. His first episode got away from Dijonay immediately. And it's like, oh, is this a joke? Nope, he's gone. Because we know Sticky doesn't mess around with Dijonay like that, and that was a running joke for a majority of the series. And immediately got him out and brung back not John, what's his name? Joseph? And he's openly gay now. Openly. You could literally just scream the gay out from his attire. Or he's bi, because he ends up with the woke black bitch that they have over in the series. And I'm sorry, I hate her. I hate her with a passion. Like, she has no core values. She's the least likable around the group. Most of the time, she always looks like she doesn't even want to be there. And she's coming around always giving, like, Penny Proud, like, no reason to like her, man. Like, why should I be invested? You know what I mean? That's in 3. Well, yeah, Top Dog.
I'm finna head out.
All right, man. Thank you for joining so we can have this conversation. I'm gonna close it up here.
If you continue, sure, I'll probably be in the chat.
Sorry, what's up?
You gonna close the stream out?
Yeah, I'm gonna close it up.
All right, bro.
All right, thanks for coming on.
You okay? If you want to do this tomorrow, we can. It's just I'm really tired right now.
Well, sadly, around the weekends I can't do a lot of content late night. That's the times that I work. But you know, if you got any ideas, and we'll try to see if we can get that to work.
All right, that'll work.